Flores, and let's talk about the PMP live seminar series today, time management. So specifically, the name of the process is define activity. So the knowledge area is time management, and the process is define activities. So think about where we are now. We are in schedule management or time management. This is the knowledge area. Which process group are we in? That's right, we are in the planning process group. So don't forget where we are. It's important for you to know orientation. Remember that you get a PDU for attending the seminar, and whether this is a recorded seminar or a live seminar for you, you will get one PDU. That's always a good thing because you will need it to take the exam, and of course you need it once you pass the exam, and that is the PMP. How many PDUs do you need? You need 60 PDUs to qualify for the PMP, to qualify for the renewal of the PMP. The definition, define activities, is the process of identifying and documenting the specific actions to be performed to produce the project deliverable. So think about what we're talking about here. We're working on activities that we are going to document at a more extensive level. This is important for you to consider the work breakdown structure. So the WBS, and I think Carol, you're coming on board here in a second. So the WBS is the work breakdown structure. We're trying to decompose the project to the lowest common denominator. And the way we do that is through a process called WBS, but we get down to the activity level. What is the benefit? Hey, Carol. Carol, Daniel, you guys made it. Hey, did y'all have problems getting in?
I didn't.
Okay, because I did. I even had problems. I had to switch over to Chrome to get it done. So.
Okay.
All right, and Daniel, you there? Daniel's trying to get on. All right, so here's where I am. I am talking about define activities. Let me go back a little bit just so I don't lose you guys. I'm talking about time management, define activities. So time management is the knowledge area, and define activities is the process we're discussing. So just be aware of what we're talking about here. And what I was just discussing right now was, let me go up. Remember that you get one PDU. So Carol, when are you trying to take the exam?
I'm set for December 15th, but I'm going to move that up, if I can kind of get all my studying done.
Okay, good. Very nice. And Daniel, what are you thinking about your exam?
I'm set. I'm not set, but I'm thinking about taking it also in December.
Okay.
That's going to be actually kind of a hard thing. I mean, probably my dates I'm going to do it because I was planning a wedding and with the work that I was doing, I haven't had the time to study the way I wanted to. So I'm kind of getting back into it now with the wedding being over and better management of time.
Okay, no worries. All right, so let's just make sure everybody knows hometown. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Where are you guys?
Chicago.
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, Carol, you're in Atlanta. So you're Eastern time, 9:08, and Daniel, you're my time zone in Chicago, 8:08. So, all right, good deal. So remember that you get one PDU. So for coming to this class or for the seminar, so you need 35 PDUs to qualify for the exam, and then you need 60 to continue your PMP membership every 3 years. Now, these seminars are free, so once you guys pass your exam, you can just come back and review the ones that you have not reviewed already, and you get a PDU for each one. That way you don't have to pay for it, and you continue your PMP status. So make sure you do that. Yep, go ahead.
I have my 35 contact hours. My application has been accepted, and I've paid my money for the exam. So what can I do with this one PDU? Anything?
So what you would do is once you, well, obviously the benefit to you is number one, how to prepare for the exam, right? Number one.
Right.
But two is once you're done, you could come back even to these and record them, but you gotta like re-listen to them, if you will. So because that has to happen after you take the exam.
Okay,
Right.
thanks.
Okay, but all of these will be available now. It'll be easier for you because you've already listened to it. But
Right, okay.
still, you get a PDU, and we have all of these will be listed. So we're on like number 14 right now. So by the time you take the exam, we'll be on number 30, 40, or whatever. So you can just go back, and for each one that you listen, you get a PDU.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So even better. I mean, it's, and plus, you know, you're always welcome to say, hey, I want to discuss a topic, and I'll let you discuss some topic. And you can probably get up to 5 PDUs for preparing a topic, even if it's only 15 or 20 minutes, and you share that topic in the seminar.
Okay.
Like a good one is, how did I prepare for the exam? You know, something like that.
Okay.
Okay, no worries. Okay, good. So we're talking about defined activities, so we're in time management. Defined activities is a process of identifying and documenting the specific actions to be performed to produce the project deliverables. Now, this is one of those tricky little sections of the PMBOK because, let me tell you what we're talking about. I'm going to actually draw it because if I don't draw it, I'm going to confuse everybody. So here, you should be able to see me drawing now.
Yep.
Okay. So this is a work breakdown structure. It's a WBS. So we decompose the project to the lowest common denominator. That's kind of the terms that we use. Now, obviously, this could be decomposed even further, so do understand that I know that. But at some point, you've got to get down to the point where you're actually doing the work or doing the activity. So I was teaching a course today for a company here in town in San Antonio where I live, and I showed them this decomposition process. Now, today we actually discussed like a wedding, preparing for a wedding of some kind. Well, down here maybe that's the reception, and from the reception you're going to have maybe ordering food and beverage, and then down here these are bids that you're collecting from different vendors. You're making sure the license is available for you to serve alcoholic drinks and so on. So when we say activities down here, PMI will call those activities, or they will call them tasks. Let me put that word in there because it's hard to say sometimes. Tasks or activities. We want to break this work down to the task level or the activity level. This is when you can assign it to someone to do the work. So let's go back to here. When I say activity, this means that someone is actually doing something very specific. Very specific. So what is the key benefit of this process? Is to break down the work packages. Let's come back to here. Oops, sorry. This is a work package down to this level. Below the work package are the tasks or the activities right here. So the work package is what we call like a low common denominator. You know, think about this. If somebody says, hey, go plan a wedding, you could pretty much, say, okay, what do you want to do? Okay. Oh, well, okay, so there's 200 people coming? Oh, got it. And what are you going to do? Venue, reception, honeymoon? Oh, now I understand what you're talking about. So now, how many people are coming? 200? Now I can start planning your wedding for you. So people will be confused unless we give them more information. And that is what we're doing here. Now, don't forget, we're decomposing the project to the lowest common denominator. Okay, so the key benefit is now we take it to activities, and now this is why we do it. This is the kind of stuff that you'll see on the exam. Why do we do it? Because we want to estimate, schedule, execute, and monitor and control the work. So if we don't break it down to this level, it's really hard for us to actually do the work. Would you agree that if we don't break it down, it's difficult?
Absolutely.
So think about this project. Like I said, I was teaching a course today. What if somebody says, hey, we would like to build a bridge between the island of between Hong Kong and where we're going to build the airport. Well, building a bridge is not an easy task. So we need to have more information. How much money is allocated to it? When does it have to be built? Do we need to run it by the Chinese government or by the UK government, and so on? So there are many elements associated with that. All right, so we got a couple folks that just joined us. Maxine, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, Maxine. I'm from San Antonio. Carol, you're from Atlanta. Dan, you're from Chicago. Maxine, where are you from? Did you hear me, Maxine?
New York. New York.
That's right, Maxine. I know you're from New York. All right, and Yanae, where are you from? I don't know if Yanae's got audio yet. All right, so we're pretty much covered the eastern half of the United States so far. All right, so don't forget that the reason we're decomposing the project, okay, we're decomposing the project is so that it's more manageable. If we don't decompose it, we can't work on the project. Now, what I found interesting from the exam standpoint is this one right here. The key benefit of this process that is called the defined activities now, the key benefit is that we're breaking down the project to where we can estimate, schedule, execute, monitor, and control the work. Don't forget that now. In fact, I can tell you this is an exam question. I think almost the exam question is going to tell you which process will you engage or perform to estimate, schedule, execute, and monitor the project work. It's called defined activities. I can just tell, just by looking at the definition, I can tell this is a question on the exam. All right, okay, come back to that. All right, so I've given you some terms here, as I always do on these sessions. We can decompose the project. Decomposition is a technique for dividing and subdividing the project scope, all right, into project deliverables. So here we go. We took this example here, a wedding, and we decomposed it. I can almost use a different picture now. We broke it down, kind of went down. This is called decomposition. All right. We're decomposing the project to the work package level. So down here is the work package. A work package is usually work that falls between 8 to 80 hours of work. The reason that's important is because now we can assign that work to somebody to work on. When something is small, it's been, don't forget the term. Let me go back to here. Don't forget the term. This was a term. We're going to take the work to where it can be, let me go back here, sorry, to where the work is divided and subdivided. So you're decomposing the project. You're breaking down the project so that it's not a wedding, it's not a bridge, it's not an IT service, it's something very specific. Okay, so that's a very important term to remember. Rolling wave planning. Let me ask you this. If I'm planning a 12-month project, can I plan in detail for what's going to happen in month number 2, or can I plan in detail for what's going to happen in month number 10? If I'm right here at 0, can I plan in detail for what's going to happen here, or can I plan in detail for what's going to happen here? Like, where can I plan in detail?
Number 2.
Number 2, right? Now, Carol, that was you, right?
Yes.
All right, Carol, so when you get to month number 9, can I now plan in detail for month number 10?
Yes.
Okay, so guess what? You now know what rolling wave planning is. Congratulations. It sounds hard, right? It sounds weird, but that's exactly what it is. We plan high level for the future, but we plan in detail for the immediate. And that's a very customary thing to do, because we just don't really know what's going to happen down the road. So make sure you're aware of that. It's a real simple concept, but I promise you, when you're taking an exam, if rolling wave comes up, it might trick you because you just may not know. Okay, now activity list. So I have an activity list of all the activities. I'm going to call the vendor. I'm going to conduct a vendor analysis. I'm going to verify the vendors are approved by the city. I'm going to X, Y, Z. Activity lists are all the activities that you will engage for that particular, I'm not going to say it, but let me see if you get it. I'm going to put the initials here. For all the activities that you're going to engage for that what?
Work package?
That's right. That's right. You broke it down to the lowest common denominator, which is the work package, and now we can start estimating for that activity or for that work package. Very important. Let me give you a high level thing here. I think it's going to help you. Now, what I'm going to show you now is very generic, but it's very important. Here's a work breakdown structure. Now, mind you, the WBS could have multiple, many more levels. I'm just making it easy right now. Yeah. And I'm going to show you why I'm doing this. Again, does this look like a hierarchy?
Yes.
All right, so now you know. Now, don't forget for the exam, a hierarchy is a WBS. Do not forget that. It's tricky. I'm going to put the big H word up here, letter. Don't forget, because that tricks too many people. Okay, so now, this is called the project level. This is called the deliverable level. This is called the work package level. Below here are the activities, which we're talking about right now. Now, mind you, there could be multi-levels. I'm just giving you the big picture. The project level, the deliverable level, the work package level, the activity level. So just know that we are, the big D word, we're decomposing the project. Very high level stuff, but remember, this is a hierarchy. So we're doing here. Okay, activity list is a comprehensive list of all the activities. What am I going to do? What are all the activities that I'm going to do? And that's important to know, because if you know the activities, here's what you can do. You can assign the right person to do the right work at the right time. Right person to do the right work at the right time, because you've broken down the activity to a granular level. We called it dividing or subdividing. Very straightforward. A lot of stuff there. All right, now let's take a question. All right, so I wrote this question today. The schedule manager, let me see if I can magnify this a little bit. Yeah. The schedule manager approaches the project manager to discuss the work breakdown structure. During the meeting, the discussion centered on the process required to provide specific and detailed information regarding activities to be performed on the project. Which of the following best describes information related to WBS ID, activity label, predecessor activities, logical relationships, and leads and lags. All right, so you've got this little scenario up here. It makes some sense, but really this is the stem of the question right here. This is the stem. In other words, this is where the question is coming from. All right, so which of the following best describes information related to the WBS, activity label, predecessor activities, logical relationships, and leads and lags? All right, what do you think is not the answer? Not the answer. Sorry, I'm at home, so.
D.
Milestone list is not the answer.
I don't think, you're right. I don't think that's the answer. Milestone list is very high level stuff. Good. That's a good one to get now, because it's probably the one that's pretty confusing. What else is not the answer? Okay, so you get an activity. You get an activity, and you want to know more information about that activity. You want something that tells you more about the activity than, like, how long does it take? What's the complexity? Are there predecessors, successors? I think this is a hard one, so then what else would you eliminate? Any guesses? Tell me why it's hard. Tell me why it's hard. Anybody? What do you think right here? What's the likelihood that they give you this right here and that be the answer? What's the likelihood?
Very unlikely.
Unlikely. In fact, I don't even know what WBS breakdown is, because work breakdown structure, why would it be work breakdown structure breakdown? Right?
Right.
You see how you've got to eliminate that one, because I have no idea what that is? So WBS stands for work breakdown structure. So this is WBS breakdown. What in the world is that? Okay. Now you got activity attributes and activity list. Which one tells you more information about an activity, like the label, the predecessor, the logical? Is it the list or the attributes of that activity?
A.
I think it's
Attributes.
Yeah, it's A. It's hard. This question is hard because it means you studied. So activity list is just a list of the activities, but this is telling you more about the activity, right? It's telling you the leads, the lags, the relationships. You see what I'm talking about? It's giving you more information, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, why we got it right? We got it right because we eliminated some other stuff. It's hard to get the question right when we start guessing at WBS. What in the world is WBS breakdown? Never heard of it. In fact, it's not even in the PMBOK. Y'all see what I'm saying, right? Let me put this up here.
Yep.
WBS breakdown means work breakdown, structure breakdown. And I can promise you there's nothing called that. Okay? There's nothing called that. Be careful now. Be very careful. Yeah, what's up? Okay, good job. Congratulations. You're 1 for 1. Okay. It has the identifier, the name, the predecessors, the successors, logical relationship, and so on. Look, I can tell you from taking the exam, I've taken both the scheduling professional and this one, this is a very hard question. You know why? Because we don't pick it up. We don't understand it. But now, since we've gone through this, I think you're going to have an easier time with it, because you'll see that it was very specific, telling you, look, if let's just say I get arrested. God help me that I don't. All right. If you get arrested and your name goes into some profile, what do they put in there? They put it. What kind of information do they pick up on somebody who gets arrested?
Your name.
My name. What else?
Address.
Address. What else?
Probably your driver's license number.
Yeah, my driver's license. What else? My fingerprints.
Yeah, that's important.
my height, my weight, which is my driver's license.
Yep, all your demographics.
My race, right?
Yep.
Those are attributes of a person. These are attributes of an activity. Does that give you more context?
Yes.
All right. So now you won't forget that. Pretend that I get arrested, but I never was. Thank you.
It also tells me I have to really read and understand what they're asking in these questions.
That's right. But doesn't it help when we discuss it here? Because remember, I read the PMBOK before I took the exam, and I don't remember understanding this. I really don't.
Yeah, this is very helpful.
Okay, because I know I've been there. I read this. I know I read this section when I took the exam, but I promise you I wasn't any smarter when I was done, because there was an overwhelming amount of information. So that's kind of where we all are. We're trying to kind of condense it a little bit so we're not overwhelmed. All right, good job. Nice job. Okay, number 2. The sponsor contacts the project manager to discuss the project today. Let me magnify this a little bit. Okay. Given the I thought I could get it on there. All right. Given the importance of the initiative to the local community, the sponsor has requested a presentation delivered to high-level stakeholders. As part of the presentation, what might be most important to the audience? The work breakdown structure, the resource breakdown structure, the activity list, or the milestone list. All right, before you answer this question, who is your audience? Who's your audience?
High-level stakeholders.
That's right, brother. High-level stakeholders, right? Okay, now, the high-level stakeholders, what kind of information do they want? Do they want the nuts and bolts of the WBS? The nuts and bolts of the resource breakdown structure? Do they want, like, a list of all the activities they're going to work on? Or do they want to see a big picture perspective?
Big picture.
Big picture.
Does that make more? You see how this question is actually easy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to go in there and say, hey, sponsor, hey, mayor, I'm going to show you a WBS. I'm not going to do that because they're not going to understand it. But I will show them, hey, here's the beginning of the project, here's the end of the project, here's where we're supposed to be along the way, like here, and here's where we are, and we're on time, and we're on budget. Anything else? I mean, remember, this is only part of the presentation. So when I wrote this question, I said, given the importance of the initiative, I use the word initiative to mean the project, because that's what they do on the exam. The sponsor has requested a presentation as part. Okay, now remember, be very careful with this right here. I put that in purposely. This is not the only thing you're going to talk about. I said as part of the presentation, you would want to include this because it's high-level stuff, right?
Yep.
Now, do you see where it was easy, or could you have struggled with it?
No, that one was pretty intuitive to me.
Okay, good. Because I know sometimes it throws you off because we see WBS and we go, hey, that sounds really good, but that's not the answer. So stakeholders for this presentation are individuals holding high-level positions. So the milestone, which is a high-level thing, is most important to them. It shows significant points of events on the project. The other items are day-to-day stuff that the project manager would handle. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. All right, good. We've got two good questions. Now, remember, the questions that I write are not intended to be for just one thing you answer on the exam. I try to write questions that will help you answer multiple questions on the exam. And if you go back to all the recordings, you'll see that that's kind of the way I put things together for you. All right, a couple more points. The PMBOK is coming out in September. The new PMBOK is coming out in September 2017. Now, for you guys, that shouldn't matter very much because you need to knock out the exam with the current PMBOK, right? So we have 47 processes in the current PMBOK. This is the 5th edition. In the new PMBOK, the 6th edition, there are 47 processes. 49. You want to take the exam now, this year, right? Don't be procrastinating until next year because you're going to have more content to worry about. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. What questions do you have for me? All right. Was it helpful?
Very.
Okay. You guys know that I don't mess around. I've taken a lot of these exams, and I try to give you some tips that I don't think you find a lot of places because it's hard to kind of digest these questions and think, oh, where are they trying to trick me, So even though we only talked about 2 questions, you'll see that they apply across the board. All right, so questions. Don't forget, you get a PDU. I know some of you already have all your PDUs for the exam or your prep and stuff, but once you take the exam, go back and listen to all these because you get one for each one. These are listed on the PMI website as well. All right, timing, 8 o'clock. I know it's 8 o'clock Central. It's kind of late for some people. Carol, Maxine, is that too late for you guys, or is that okay?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine for me as well.
Okay, because I don't like to make it too late because I know it can be, kind of crazy. But all right, we'll keep it at 8 o'clock Central for me and also for Daniel, and it's 6 o'clock on the Pacific time zone. So, okay, well, I'll see you next week.
Yes.
All right, y'all have a good week.
Will you send out the, is it going to be the same URL that we connect to next week, or will you send out a new one?
I'll check with my team, but it should be the same. But yes, I always send it out. We send it out on Monday mornings.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right, spread the word, all right?
Okay, we'll do.
Thank